Hey man, welcome to the Ace Micheals Show. I'm Ace Micheals and I'm your host for the affair. I'm so happy to have you here. I really am. I may not look like it, but this is my happy face. So this is what you get. I don't want to tell you. This is how happy I look when I'm happy. Anyway, no, I am happy to have you here. If it's your first time, this is the rules. You say what you want, you do what you want, you be who you want, and we don't complain with that. If you ever want to be on the show, you can. All you have to do is call us. You can call us 702-540-3498. Or, I know you a Palea. Calling is not your thing. I get it. You can email us. You can email us anytime you want. beonthebuzz@yahoo.com, and that'll get you on the show. You can voice your opinions, ideas, suggestions, convictions, beliefs, dreams, admirations, aspirations, and all that. Today on the show, my good friend Jilian Lopez. Jilian Lopez is in the house. Jilian, hi. Welcome to the show, darling.
How are you?
Well, I'm doing all right. I got no complaints. I woke up this morning. That's the start.
Great sign.
You know, you get that far, maybe that's all you do all day. Hey, you can't ask for a lot. Right?
Put on a tie, so we're going.
I did wear a tie today. I actually had an idea about this wardrobe in particular. I was like, I wonder if my purple tie will go with my blue shirt. And so for a long time, I was thinking about it. I was like, one of these days, I'm going to try that purple tie out with that blue shirt.
Rocking it.
And then when you came in with your purple top on, then I said, today is clearly the day.
Absolutely.
That we jump out of fantasy and into reality, we make it happen. So that's what's up.
You're rocking it, rocking it.
So there's the story of my wardrobe. Next show, we'll talk about my decisions. Boxers versus briefs. It happens. That's all I can say. So tell us, Jilian, so what's going on in your world? Enough about me.
In my world, I'm a mommy. And
You are a mommy.
I'm a mommy. And I am currently still in recovery from a really bad car accident, but I'm killing it.
Before we go to the car accident, I want to talk about momminess for a minute, because people don't understand. I do, because I have an ex. But people don't understand how much of a job momminess is.
Oh my gosh.
Momminess is a full-time gig. That's your gig.
That's it. Yeah.
When people say I'm a lawyer and I'm a single mom, I'm like, not really. You mainly single moms.
Yeah.
I mean, you know. Anyway, yeah, that's a tough gig.
And I have a 13-year-old and a 10, almost 11-year-old, and oh my gosh, I don't wish that upon anybody.
When you see your mommy angry face, because I'm sure you have one. Do for this camera right here. Do your mommy angry face. I believe it. I bought right into it. Wow.
They also know if I tell them lock it up, they better lock it up.
Wow. Do it one more time?
Lock it up. You better lock it up right now.
Wow. With a little bit of bounce.
Oh yeah, and hand. Lock it up.
Lock it up. I love it. So you have 3 kids?
I have 3 kids.
Nice.
One has passed away, and so
okay.
I have 2 living. And so, but she is still very much part of our lives.
Of course.
And but the teenagers are. I really don't wish 13 on anybody. I really don't.
Oh my goodness. My son is 13. So.
Oh, it's rough. Well, and
just started.
It's and bigger than me. They're bigger than me, so they think they can. I'll rock you. I will rock you. But they are ultimately really, really great kids. They help out a lot. They really do. Great grades. My 13-year-old's a phenomenal artist. Like I've never seen.
Like a hip hop artist?
No,
like a painter?
Draw. Like
really?
Just oh my goodness! I wish I had brought some of the pieces. It's you can't even imagine that a 13-year-old could draw some of the things. And then my 10, almost 11-year-old, his heart is so pure and so sweet, and he plays every sport, which is
wow.
So I'm team mom to everything, baking cupcakes, doing all that, and go to Sunday or Saturday games at 9 a.m., 6 a.m., things like that.
Wow.
Practices 3 times a week. And so very busy, very, very busy.
Now, there's a new kind of thing. I think it's new anyway. It may have always been happening, but I didn't know because I wasn't, aware. But there seems to be this new kind of thing, like women that are single don't seem to be looking for men. Like you see on Facebook all the time, like, I'm single.
And good with
and
it.
there's nothing else. Like, what, no ... No, wait a minute. Does that mean I got it? No, that means I'm single. And that's how I'm trying to stay single. Do you agree with that? Like, what is that with women now?
Well, I think because of relationships that they've had before, and especially if they were bad or toxic or things like that, which I think every woman has had, it comes to a point where it's easier and you don't got to deal with it. And then on top of it, you're really happy with who you are and really happy with the way that you get to live your life. I was in a toxic relationship before, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy doing what I want when I want. I'm so happy not worrying or questioning anything. And if someone came and they were the right person, awesome. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of women at this point, it's trust issues. It's so many. I mean, really, it's really easy to be single. Yeah. And especially with kids, you're so busy with them and doing what you want to do. Bringing someone new into that, and then having to adjust your schedules and times and beliefs and things like that. It's a hard world.
I think you hit on something that actually is probably the unsaid truth of it. When you're a single mom or a single dad and you have you and the kids, you make the schedules. So everything pretty much can run according to the way you want. Now, if you start dating Lola is not going to let you make her schedule. Lola's going to tell you how her schedule goes. And now all of a sudden you're back to that thing where you're wondering, like, well, is she coming at 8 or is she coming at 9?
Yeah.
Is she going to show up at all? Or what am I doing tonight?
And there might be times like I got to cancel on you.
Yeah.
And there might be times my kid's sick and you can't come over. And I'm one of those people, I don't introduce my kids right away whatsoever.
Of course.
And so I might not only get to see you one day a week if you're lucky. And like I said, if you're lucky.
Right. And would you ever say that you're looking for someone to come in and help take care of your kids? No, that's just someone you're dating, and that doesn't mean that they get to tell your kids when to do the homework or when to sit down or when to shut up or when to anything.
No.
Which is a whole nother dynamic.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's interesting. So now that we know a little bit about your backstory, which is always important, the backstory. Tell us a little about this accident. So you had this accident.
Horrific accident.
Life-changing.
Life-changing. Absolutely. I am a completely different, I believe, better person because of it.
What were you before? Were you like some kind of crack-smoking DJ or something? Like what?
No,
How did you change?
I used to love to drink and go out and things like that. And on Easter Sunday of 2016, we were in a horrific car accident. I was 7 months pregnant with my daughter that passed away. And the car rolled and I broke 17 bones. I was in the hospital for 44 days. We did life-saving surgery where they told my family I might not make it, but I made it.
Yeah, apparently.
And so every day, before you kind of just live and you go, now every single day I look at as a blessing and as when I had to learn how to walk again. And I'm a dancer. I've danced most of my entire life. Mm-hmm. So when your legs don't work, you're like, what? Like, I took hip-hop for so long, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I can't get my leg to walk, and then the amount of surgeries that you've had, and your kids having to see you in the hospital and things like that, and then losing a child. Every single day is an absolute blessing, and you need to look at, no matter what is going on, you have to look at the positive of, you start journaling, you start doing these things, and it has really made me grow so much closer to my children. It's made me grow so much closer to myself, of who I am, my family, and I haven't drank. I don't drink anymore, which I think it's so cool to remember a lot more things. And so I just believe that I hate that saying, that cliche saying of everything happens for a reason, because fuck that, but you can take whatever does happen, and you could either wallow and be sad and depressed and why me,
Sure,
or you could turn it around. And what I did is, like, they told me I wouldn't walk for a certain amount of time. Fuck you, I'll walk when I walk. And that's what I taught my kids. You never give up, no matter how hard it is. You keep going, you keep fighting. You know, they told me that this would happen, this would happen. No, I'm going to tell you what happens with my life.
So let me ask you, Jillian, is this is a real thing, that whatever you think will actually become the reality? So you're laying in bed, and this is a gentleman in a white coat with a thing on his pocket, you know, with the what do they call them things? This clipboard, you know. He's a real doctor.
Yep.
He's been to school.
Yep.
And he tells you you're not going to walk again. And how do you manage to say, oh, no, I walk. I'm going to tell him. I'm going to get up out of here.
All you did was read more books than I did. How do you know I'm not going to do it? You don't know who I am. And I made a conscious choice, no matter, I was walking, or at least with help, within a week or 2 weeks with 17 broken bones. And they told me, they said I might start by, this happened in March 27th. They said I might start by like July. Oh, no. Within like 2 weeks. And so, and then I snowboard, which is my passion. So I told them they got a couple months to get me back on my board.
Right.
You know, so, and it's hard and it hurt. And you have to decide what you want. And, you know, being in the hospital for 44 days, you watch a lot of people who refuse to get out of bed. I'm in too much pain, I can't do this. The only way to go home is to get up. And it doesn't matter how much pain it is, you know, pain sucks, but you have to decide what you want for your life. And I truly, truly believe that what you think and what you manifest, it's you are in control of your universe. And so if you decide to give up, then of course. But no doctor the only reason he's a doctor is he read more books than me.
So I'm going to throw a challenge at you.
Okay,
so I agree with what you're saying, but let's say that I don't. So I come to you and I say, you know, Jillian, the thing is, I'm in this abusive relationship. I can't get out of that.
I've been there. And it's very, very difficult, I will agree. But ultimately, you have to look at what's best for you. And trust me, I've been in that abusive relationship. And it took a long, long time to get out of it. But one day you wake up and you decide, this is not how I want to live my life. And you have to walk. And the only way you can do that is no contact. And that's truly, like, if you have any contact, you get sucked back in. And it's hard. And I won't ever discredit anybody. And I will never, ever shame anybody for staying. You know, because I understand that sometimes love blinds you or you're scared. But you have to decide. It's your brain. You have to decide, this is not the way I want to live.
Okay, somebody else says, I've been smoking this crack since I was 6 years old.
Get help. Get help. You have to decide you don't want to do that anymore. And you can't just, okay, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to just not smoke it anymore. If it's really an addiction, you need to go through the process, and you need help, professional help. And then you also have to make that real decision that this is not what I want, you know, but, and that's a very, very difficult, you know, especially with drugs and alcohol and things like that. But you have to get professional help. You can't do those things on your own. And I had such an amazing supportive team. Like my family, my sister. Oh my God, my sister didn't leave my side. My best friend didn't leave my side. My children, I did decide for my children. And, you know, when you have support, it makes it a lot easier. It really does. Because when you're by yourself, and it's so easy to fall back. It's so easy to just give up. And trust me, there's days I didn't want to get out of bed. And there's days I didn't get out of bed. Because it hurts and you're exhausted.
Now you brought up a good point that I was going to give a 3 example today. So this is my third one. Is all my friends live in Minnesota. I don't want to leave Minnesota. I don't want to leave my friends, even though they're toxic for me. Right?
Groups. There's support groups. When I lost my daughter, I for a very long time went to a grieving support group, you know, of not just mothers, but other people who have lost someone that they care about. And because, say, my best friend, she was there every single day with me. My sister was there every single day with me, but they had no idea what it was like to lose somebody that. And so you go but you have to decide to do that. And that was, no one forced me to go. I sought therapy. I sought physical therapy, and you got to get up and go, and you got to decide. And so you don't want to leave your friends who are toxic. Then you're not ready.
Oh, interesting.
You're not ready yet. You have to be ready, especially if it's drugs or alcohol, because no matter who supports you, if you're not ready to give those things up, you won't.
No, that's a good point. So you had this accident, and I just got to know, did you see Jesus? Like, what, you know what I'm saying? Like, what happens when you have a life-threatening accident? Do you sit there and you say, okay, no more Oreos, for real? I'm really changing my life. When if I get up out of this hospital, I'm done. No more late night Netflix. You got it. Just let me get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like what kind of bargains do you make in order to get up and out?
Well, I definitely have a strong faith, but I didn't see Jesus. I didn't see heaven. I have late nights where I overthink. I still, to this day, I have late nights where I can't sleep at all because my brain won't turn off.
Sure.
And but I have a faith that I control what happens here. And because I'm a good person, and because of I truly don't want bad things to ever happen, and I never drink and drive, and there's Ubers and taxis and Lyfts and things like that. So the bargaining is that I can only control me, and I'm going to do the best to be the very best person that I can be, and I'm going to teach my kids to be the kindest, most caring, and the best that they can be, and go day by day.
Now, were you drinking behind the wheel?
My ex.
Your ex was drinking.
Yeah.
I had a young lady on the show before. She's welcome to come back. I hope she will. She had told a very painful story about she was with a man who was drinking. They were driving together. He was driving. They got in an accident, and she was a model before the accident, and her face was disfigured. Now, she always has this issue with her face, but she still models now. She's a very empowering role model.
Love it.
However, this same man, about 2 years later, they were still together. He was drinking again. They were driving with the baby in the back, and they got into a horrific accident. Luckily, the baby was okay, but it was that made her decide that, you know what, this is just too much for me. Like, we almost lost our life because you were drinking. So then you're going to turn around again and do the same thing? I'm done. I'm done with you.
So I have a very similar story. He was drinking, and we lost the baby, and I broke almost every bone in my body, and surgery and hospital. He didn't get a scratch. Well, we just recently broke up, and
So you went back with him?
I stayed with him. I stayed by his side. I didn't press charges. I did whatever I could to save him. I knew he had a drinking problem very bad. We just recently broke up, and he just, and I don't know how much of his business I should air, but
sure.
He just, 2 or 3 days ago, got into another DUI with his new girlfriend, and her kids were in the car, and she domestic battery and DUI, so he is in jail right now for the exact same thing. It hasn't even been a year. And it hasn't even been 10 months since he got his probation.
And I'm not one to try to say, listen, man, trust me, I'm on the wrong side of making mistakes plenty in my life. But what I'm trying to say is, though, like, when you're talking about a speeding ticket, it's one thing. When you're talking about drinking and driving or snorting cocaine or, something that it's been clearly written and parabled and movies made about it, movies of the week made about, like, you shouldn't do this. There's got to be something in you that says, you know what, I just shouldn't. And especially after you've had a warning, and don't get me wrong, I mean, we all make mistakes, and these are mistakes that people make. But when someone makes a mistake like that, I was cleaning the gun, little did I know, it went off, I killed our 4-year-old. You stick with that person because you realize, okay, things happen. I understand. It's hard for me, but I do understand. Then that person goes and does a similar thing. Where do you stand on that?
It is so heartbreaking because when you hear about somebody, you want them to get help. But like I said, if you're not ready to get help, no matter what support you have, there's nothing that you can do. And, he's definitely had the support. And you make your own choices. I can't control what somebody else does. And so to hear that he, less than 10 months since his sentencing, had another DUI and has been drinking constantly. And, we split probably about 6-7 weeks ago, and
oh wow,
he already had another girl.
Recent.
Yeah, and
you still listen to slow jams?
Yeah, I don't, because I can't handle that crying shit. Hell no, I listen to my stuff that makes me happy, right? But I was so concerned that he was driving again. Her children were in the car, and so. But at the same time, there's nothing you could do, and he is in jail. And the worst part is that you want to help somebody, but if they don't want the help, there's absolutely nothing you can do. And that's why I've chosen not to drink, because I have such a guilt associated with my daughter of alcohol and things like that. And actually my children, I don't think that my older children need to see alcohol knowing that this was a drunk driving accident.
Right.
And so it's just definitely changed my perception of everything. And, I hear so many stories of like, well, I got drunk and I did this, or I got drunk and I did something stupid. And I'm like, it's not even fun. Like, it doesn't sound like a good time anymore. And I'm so much fun without it. Like, get the heck out of here. I don't need that stuff.
Right on.
And so, but like, that perfect example. It was a perfect example. And most people who really have that problem, they need that professional help. They need, and it's so heartbreaking. It really is so heartbreaking, because this is somebody I cared about, the father of my child, and I had to let go and just accept the fact that this is who he is. And you know what? He fucked himself.
Right.
So I that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and that's real talk. We're by no means shaming people who have a drink. We're not even shaming people who have a drink and decide to drive home. That is what you do, and this is life. This is your life. You make your decisions. We're just saying that it's so unfortunate that if you make those decisions, some other people pay the cost.
Absolutely.
Jillian,
Absolutely.
if we want to contact you on that social media, how do we reach out and touch you?
On Facebook, it's Jilian Lopez. Jillian with one L. So Jilian Lopez. Instagram is Jil JIL_E_JIL, Jilly Jill. And I don't do Twitter because I feel like I'm too old. Snapchat, I'm just learning because I'm an adult. So sorry that we had to even go deep into this, but drunk driving, and that is very close to my heart. And I want to definitely spread the word that there are ways to get help, and Uber and Lyft, and there's so many cheap ways to get home, and people pay the price. And again, like you said, we're never condemning anybody for their choices. We just hope that we can at least spread some knowledge and help anyone that we can.
And that is real talk. Hey man, it's been the Ace Micheals show. Here's a thought. Some people feel like their life is a prison. I understand that. You feel like you don't have any choices. You're stuck in the life that you were given. But there's a great song by the Eagles that says, some people live their life in a prison and never realize they have the key. You know what I say at the end of every show, and I still mean it. Live the life you love. Love the life you live. Thank you.
Love it.
That was fun.